I'm Paul Bailey, South Central District Fishery Supervisor with the North Dakota Game and Fish Department. I guess in a nutshell, it's been a very unusual ice fishing season given some of the weather patterns we've been in. We had a very nice December that led to late ice formation in a lot of places. And then we had that January cold snap, which formed ice pretty quickly. And then this latter half of January into early February, we've had some very warm conditions that have really led to this being some of the most dynamic or changing ice conditions we've probably ever experienced, or at least that I remember experiencing in a winter. There's really no such thing as an average year in North Dakota. In a year like last winter, where access was extraordinarily difficult and the weather was not very pleasant to spend time outdoors, we might only see 5% of our total angling effort for a year accrued by ice fishermen. In years where access to the ice is great, the weather's a little better, and we've got lots of cooperative fish out there, we might see up to 25% of our angling effort being conducted by ice fishermen. Access to the lakes is certainly way easier this year. There's hardly any snow on the landscape this year, so anglers can certainly get to the ice fairly easily. But with the warm snap we've had, anglers are advised to be pretty cautious when they get accessing the ice. Some of the shorelines are definitely deteriorating. Once conditions allowed anglers to start getting out there and exploring, we've got some tremendous fish populations out there right now. I think anglers are well aware of those. Last summer was probably one of the best years of fishing we've ever documented in North Dakota, and that did spill over into the ice fishing once anglers were able to access many of our lakes. Perch are probably one of our most popular species for anglers to pursue through the ice. Perch tend to be kind of a boom or bust species in North Dakota. I wouldn't say we're at a bust right now by any means. There's still a pretty good perch opportunity out there. But what anglers are going to find, I think, this winter is that coming up with a limit of perch is going to be a little more challenging than it has been in years past. But the sizes of perch that are out there are certainly pretty spectacular. Anglers have never had better opportunity to take advantage of walleye in our state right now. So we've got tremendous opportunity in our big three fisheries from the Missouri River, Lake Oahe, Lake Sakakawea, and Devil's Lake. As you'd expect, those are very good walleye fisheries right now. But some of our prairie lakes are also providing extraordinary opportunity. We've also got tremendous pike opportunity out there as well. Our pike populations tend to mirror what's happening with our yellow perch populations. They respond to the same environmental conditions of rising water levels, do really good things for both pike and perch. We haven't had those rising water level conditions here recently, so our pike natural reproduction and recruitment in a lot of our fisheries hasn't been as good as we'd like it to be, but there's still tremendous northern pike opportunity out there right now. The ice fishing reports have been very good throughout North Dakota, but again, that's so weather dependent when anglers can access the ice, and I know that's been a little more challenging here with the deteriorating ice conditions we've had on many of our lakes. These mild winters where we haven't had a lot of snow accumulation, that means really good things for anglers typically, and that access is so easy. And it also really reduces our threat of winter kill occurring. Last winter, the winter of 22-23, with that extraordinary snow coverage, we saw pretty extensive winter kill occurring in many North Dakota fisheries. This winter, we don't have that threat of winter kill as extensively, but one thing that does present a challenge for is refilling these lakes. The good news is most of our lakes went into this current winter in pretty good shape, but we're not expecting much for runoff this year. So if we enter a drought period, this is going to present some challenges for sure in the future. Now our day length is increasing, which creates, with this lack of snow on the ice, presents the ability for these lakes to produce more oxygen within themselves via photosynthesis, given that light penetration getting into the lakes. So we're much more optimistic this winter that even if Mother Nature turns on the faucet and we start getting a bunch more snow, we are kind of over the hump, so to speak, as far as that major threat of winter kill. Our biologists across the state are starting their winter dissolved oxygen monitoring, and thus far we haven't seen any signs that we're going to see major winter kills occurring anywhere in the state as of right now. So we'll continue that throughout the next few weeks, which is really our first early warning sign of what our threat of winter kill is this year. But given what Mother Nature's thrown at us so far, we really don't have any concerns at this time. Where we're standing right now, we're on 24 inches of ice, but there's probably an inch of water on top of it. So these are the kind of conditions that are going to lead to our ice conditions changing very rapidly. So a place where anglers may have driven on 2 weeks ago might not be safe to do so again here in the near future. So that's something anglers should definitely be aware of, is to constantly recheck those ice conditions as you venture out ice fishing. We've still got good ice in a lot of places that you can certainly do it safely, but one thing anglers should be aware of is always bring that safety equipment with you, like these self-rescue ice picks are something good for that everyone should always have around them. A lot of times we get a little neglectful of those kinds of things when we think we're on 2 feet of ice like we are right now. But given how dynamic our winter weather has been this year, that safety should always be at the forefront when you go ice fishing. That shoreline areas is where our ice is going to first deteriorate, which can present those access challenges. Even though you can see, other anglers or the ice may be safe further out from shore. Beginning March 15th, ice houses can no longer be left unattended on our lakes. So after that time, they can certainly be used again if ice conditions allow, but they just can't be left unattended. March 15th is that deadline, but anglers should be well aware of how ice conditions are changing right now so you don't find yourself in a bind and not being able to retrieve your ice house. The one complaint we pretty consistently see regarding ice fishermen is leaving that litter on the ice. That's something no one likes to find themselves. We've got to realize that we've got to be good neighbors as anglers to all of our landowners around these lakes. None of them like finding this garbage, so if we want that great access to continue to so many of our fisheries, we really got to be good neighbors, clean up after ourselves. Another thing to be aware of for sure is getting to these lakes. That might be on some prairie trails or minimum maintenance roads. So as the weather conditions change, please have a backup plan that you might not be able to access these lakes as you anticipated. That might lead to some road damage. So always be aware of that, again, being good neighbors. That March 15th date is also important for spear fishermen to be aware of. Dark house spear fishing is not allowed after March 15th. It's perfectly legal to clean fish on the ice. Just make sure you're taking all the fish parts home with you. Don't dispose of your bait on the ice. Fingers crossed, yeah, if you love ice fishing like I do, that we've got some good opportunity here over the next few weeks for sure to take advantage of some ice fishing. Again, just keep that safety in mind.